new Ronin's back, slicing through the noise with a culture attack. Pop culture films in the world we see. Deleted scenes where the truth runs free. Take care, stay strong, we're breaking the mold. Be safe, stay healthy, let the story unfold. From watch parties, reviews to the news we spin. Deleted scenes, yeah, this is how we win. Take care, stay strong, we're breaking the mold. Be safe, stay healthy, let the story unfold. From watch parties, reviews to the news we spin. Deleted scenes, yeah, this is how we win. Let's roll.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube land. I am Deleted Scenes, human being, American, and YouTube Ronin, and I'd like to welcome you to tonight's episode of Unscripted. We control the vertical, we control the horizontal. I want to say hello to everyone currently following along on X. I can't see you, but I know that you're there. I want to say hello to everyone here in the live chat. Faithful Blue Wrench channel member, the Bird Woman of YouTube. Watch out for her channel, Fluff Chick Productions. It's kind of clear. Channel member, JPRPH1. My co-host on the Mystery Movie Night podcast, Enigma Severus. Scrolling down, I don't want to miss anyone here. We didn't save the cheerleader. So what happens to the world? And a very simple answer, my friends, is I don't know. There is a cancer in this country. One of them is drugs, and how readily available they are, and how we have allowed this problem to go as far as it has for as long as it has. Another problem that we have in this country, and YouTube might not like me talking about this, but I'm going to talk about it tonight because it is indeed part of the story, is that we have people who can't keep their damn fucking hands off of children. Now, Hollywood is a place where both of those problems exist. We know it exists. They know it exists. Yet nothing is done. We have a number of actors who were in Hollywood since they were children, who have in recent months passed away. And a lot of them because of drugs and because of ailments that they have contracted through the use of drugs. I don't want this to sound like a cliche, but I don't know how to say it in a way that doesn't sound like a cliche. And that is, our children are the future. Somebody has to continue after our generation is gone. That's why you need both parents in the home. You need stability. You need structure. But deleted, didn't you come from a generation where the kids were kind of left to their own devices? And, well, yeah, but you know what? I come from a generation where my parents worked. Why did they work so hard? My parents worked hard to keep food on the table, to keep a roof over our heads. My dad wanted to buy land. He did that. I live on that land right now. In the scheme of things, despite some bumps in the road, I think I turned out okay. I got lucky. One of the reasons that I got lucky is because I'm not somebody who was raised in the limelight. And hello to Big Al Presents, creator of the 10-Word Review, host of Films with Friends. Good to see you, sir. Now, childhood can be dangerous enough. There are pitfalls. You can get involved with a criminal element. You can run into someone who is abusive. And hello to Ala Mahmood. Now, when you grow up in front of the cameras, where you have to deal with a drug element, where you have to deal with predatory type people, it is much easier for not just children but adults to fall victim to this sort of thing. And we've been hearing a lot of these stories. Now, there was a time when, before social media, and especially in the last few years, there was not a whole lot of interaction between a celebrity and the general public, except maybe at a convention or something. But, we didn't really know, because a lot of this stuff was kept out of the papers, and a lot of these people kept what was going on in their lives private. Unless they wrote like a tell-all book at the end of their career and it didn't matter anymore. Nowadays, celebrities make their opinions on things known. Sometimes a little too much. And we've talked about that on previous shows. But one thing that they are not afraid to talk about is if they have had issues with drugs. When there are these what I will refer to, for the sake of argument, YouTube, predatory elements. So we know this is going on. We know that Hollywood is an industry that takes, in particular, child stars, chews them up and spits them out. Breaks them down until they're nothing, and then literally leaves them on the street. Like Davy Chase, like Austin Majors, both of whom I've brought up on this show before. There are people who say that Michelle Trachtenberg died from drugs. That's never been confirmed, but you know what? I don't doubt it. Why was Joss Whedon not allowed alone on set with her? You tell me. That's ominous. You tell me why. Hello to Aged Boomer, my co-host on Live from Sparkwood 21, host of Geeky Geezers, coming up at the top of the hour. Now, and hello to Sin's Corner, my co-host on the Mystery Movie Night podcast. I worry now when I see a kid in a TV show or in a movie. You know, I worry for them now. Because we know that they are exposed to things that they shouldn't be. And they grow up troubled, and they die young. And I'm sure that you're just as sick of seeing this happen over and over again. And I'm talking not just this recent spate of deaths that we've seen. How many horror stories have we heard? You know, from child stars from the past. How many of them got involved with drugs, you know, and died? The girl from Family Affair, Anissa Jones. There's, you know, there's so many. That came to such a sad end later in life. And none of it had to happen. Gotta wonder. You gotta wonder, where are the parents? Where are the parents? What are you, stage mothers? Listen, your children are your children. They are not your meal tickets. And hello to the Horror King. They are not there to make money for you. That's your job. It is your job to watch over your children and to provide for them. That is your job. It is not the other way around. Look how Michael Jackson ended up. I've read his autopsy report. I've read Whitney Houston's autopsy report. It is the most horrific thing you're ever going to read. How does Davy Chase end up homeless on the street, infected with AIDS? How does Austin Majors wind up homeless on the street? And how do the people responsible continue to get away with feeding these kids drugs? You want to know how Judy Garland's drug habit started? Because a producer on The Wizard of Oz told her that she was too fat. And she was 90 pounds soaking wet. And look where she ended up. This goes back to the beginning of Hollywood. This abuse of, in particular, children. I'm to the point where I'm not sure a child should get involved with acting or the music business or anything of the sort, because who's watching out for them? Aren't there guidelines for this stuff? Where all these so-called advocacy groups? I don't even want to think about it. I don't want to think about this. I don't want to go on to Twitter and find out that someone else has died. I don't want to find out that they suffered abuse at the hands of someone who fucking got away with it. This is not something that I want to think about. This is not something that I want to talk about. This is not something that I want to report on. But it is happening over and over and over again. Every single time you hear all of these horror stories, you know, um, you know, abuse, ODs. I'll say it, YouTube, demonetize me if you want. Suicides, homelessness. And it keeps happening. And it has been going on from the very beginning, where these child actors end up. If they are not from a stable home, if they don't have both parents there, people who abuse these kids, the people who abuse women on set, who abuse men on set, that happens too. You have abusive people in Hollywood, in major corporations, in places of power, and they continue to get away with this behavior. It is time to expose them. It is time to expose these stage parents that just use their children as meal tickets. Enough is enough. Be vigilant, ladies and gentlemen. Watch what goes on around you. And to you people in Hollywood who are so busy between cocaine binges and abusing one another and trying to stop mergers from going through and acting like you're so smart, look to your own house. See what you are doing to yourselves. How many more need to die? For what? Entertainment value? I don't see the entertainment in this, folks. When they try to, quote unquote, educate us on how we need to act and how we need to treat women and how we need to treat children, look to your own house. You have no moral authority. And we see through you now. The shine is off. There's no buffer between you and us because you won't shut up. You're too busy talking down to see what's going on around you. None of these people needed to die. None of them needed to be fed drugs. None of them needed to be abused. But you did that. The industry did that, and the stage parents did that. One is too many. This is an epidemic. This is an epidemic. A real one. Not one that was grown in a lab. This is for real. And how many more Hayden Panettieres, how many Austin Majors, how many Judy Garlands do there have to be before somebody does something about this? before Hollywood truly wakes up and says that we are going to throw the abusers out. We're going to throw the drug dealers out. Look to your own house, Hollywood, because you are dying in more ways than one. There are consequences to what you do. Now, I know as much as you know about what was going on with Hayden Panettiere in her last days. Um, there have been those who were around her who claimed to be friends, and maybe they were, who say that there was something that was obviously wrong. That this boyfriend that she was traveling with was not on the up and up. I don't know. I know nothing about the man. Maybe that's true. Maybe it isn't. Um, Greenville is not very far from where I am right now. I can hop in a car and get there in a couple of hours. But I don't really know a whole lot about the place. I don't know anybody who lives there. I didn't know she was there, obviously, you know. Some people say that the area of the city that she was in is a high crime and drug area. I don't know that. I can't speak to that. Would it surprise me? No. So I'm not going to come on here and bullshit you with any tabloid speculation. I'm not here to say whether she meant to do it or not. I don't know. All I know is what the 911 audio said, that's out there that you can find, that said it was an OD. So I don't know anything more than what's been reported by what the people who were around her before her death say. I don't know anything past that. But again, the point is that this is a death that did not need to happen. This was, she was not someone who needed to be pushed into the entertainment business by stage parents. She was not someone who needed to get involved with drugs. She was not someone who needed to be abused. She was not someone who needed to change her lifestyle so she could fit in. My point tonight is this is just one more in a very long list of child actors in Hollywood who grew up and were totally screwed up and screwed over. A lot of them die broke. A lot of them. Because the parents stole from them, because management stole from them, because they wasted a lot of money on drugs, because they're so addicted that they don't know which way is up. They are surrounded by abusers. They're surrounded by yes men. And they used to be able to cover this sort of thing up, but they can't now. It's out there. We no longer have that film over our eyes. We see what's going on. You can't hide it anymore. You can talk down to us all you want. You're not going to scare us off. I have always said on this show that I'm going to call it as I see them. If I see criminals, if I see abuses in power, I am going to call it out. And that's what I'm going to do tonight. To those of you in Hollywood, to those of you who are in places of power, places of authority, you do not get to abuse anyone anymore. Especially children. Any crime committed against a child should, in my opinion, be a death penalty offense. Period. Point blank. Harming a child in any way physical and worse. Feeding them drugs. As far as I am concerned, people who act that way deserve death. And if that story that Hayden Panettiere told just days before she died about what happened on that yacht, if that's true, everybody involved in that deserves to die. Everyone. And that story is up. It's out there. It's in social media. Go and please go and find it. It sounds like a cliche, but it is true. Children are our future. You know what's the best thing about children? The world hasn't poisoned them yet. There's no racism, there's no hate. A child is trusting. It makes me it makes me angry when I hear that harm has been done to a child. And I know I'm going off the rails with this, guys, but it's called unscripted for a reason. And I'm remembering too many names. People who should still be with us to this day, raising their own families, having their own kids. And I'm not just talking about these Hollywood, child actors that die young. I'm talking about now people that I knew who passed away under similar circumstances, and there have been a lot. And was there something that I could have done in retrospect? I don't know. But I can do something about it now because now I have a platform. Hollywood, you are losing your young to abuse, to drugs, to theft, being involved with criminal element. Quit talking down to us and do something about it. We didn't save the cheerleader. But there's still a world left. So let's work on saving the people that we can. Hello to FKHC 2005, sometimes known as Tim. Outlaw Bill, good to see you, sir. My partner in crime, the Toxic Gunslinger. Hope that you're on the mend, sir. I do want to remind everyone that at the top of the hour will be the next episode of Geeky Geezers, hosted by Aged Boomer, along with Troy Pacelli and Netters Network. Stay till the end of this broadcast. You will be redirected. I want to once again welcome Pinochet's Helicopter Tours for becoming the latest member of the channel. I would also like to remind everyone later tonight at 11 p.m. you can rejoin me for the next episode of Reserved Seats. I will be joined by Rachel, the Elder Millennial. We're going to be talking all about her YouTube origins and talk about what's next with her channel. And, of course, right after that, you will be redirected back to Troy Pacelli's channel for the next episode of Doctor Who. I want to thank everybody who was in the chat tonight. Anyone who may have been following along on X, anyone who might have been lurking in the background. It's quite all right. You don't have to engage with the chat, as long as you enjoy the show. Hit the like, share out the stream. I know this was a serious one tonight, folks. I hope it wasn't too ranty, but there is a point. And we need checks and balances when it comes to children being in the entertainment business. Because there are a lot of predators out there. Stay vigilant, my friends. If you see abuse, call it out. Do something about it. From HQ and all points north, south, east, west, and beyond. Good night. Take care. Stay strong. Be safe and healthy. Watch over the children. Because this is how we win. Good night.
Ronan's back, slicing through the noise with a culture attack. Pop culture films in the world we see. Deleted scenes where the truth runs free. Take care, stay strong, we're breaking the mold. Be safe, stay healthy, let the story unfold. From watch parties, reviews to the news we spin. Deleted scenes, yeah, this is how we win. Take care, stay strong, we're breaking the mold. Be safe, stay healthy, let the story unfold. From watch parties, reviews to the news we spin. Deleted scenes, yeah, this is how we win. Yeah. Steve out on your YouTube, bro, let's roll.